Going round in circles means not getting much far from your starting point. For our project, we looked for ways to move out of circles so we could reach far. We wanted to understand what mobility means to different people with a different experience in life, so that we could better understand what reaching further really means. Does a person with disabilities experience the same kind of mobility as a person who had to escape his country due to wars or lack of freedom? Or a bicycle activist who tries to make her city more safe to her children by transforming the urban transportation? A female artist who travels alone on her bicycle to challenge sexism? Activists who volunteered in other continents and countries to understand the world better? What limits mobility for these people, and what gives them more mobility? How can we live our fundamental right to movement to the fullest extent?
La mobilità indica la possibilità di muoversi in autonomia nonostante comunque la mia disabilità. Io sono una persona che ha una disabilità motoria dalla nascita, quindi ho sempre, diciamo, necessità per più delle mie necessità di una persona che mi possa aiutare, no? Però diciamo che non nel lavoro, per esempio, però la mobilità per me è importante perché riesco se la mobilità a Roma, parlo di Roma perché io vivo qui, insomma funziona bene, io posso muovermi in modo libero anche con l'aiuto di una persona, però posso prendere, non so, i mezzi pubblici in modo da poter visitare alcune parti di Roma, alcuni luoghi in modo accessibile, oppure prendendo la metro e quindi poterla visitare, però non essere sempre costretta a prendere solo il mio mezzo personale che so che comunque col quale posso muovermi, però magari è complesso poi trovare il parcheggio, quindi mobilità per me vuol dire muoversi in autonomia, riuscire a muoversi in autonomia, che a Roma non è molto facile.
Word mobility means for me freedom. Freedom of every sense. Every sense, like physical freedom, it means emotional freedom, it means I don't know, information freedom, freedom to get information from internet. We have mobility is the main thing. What is the reason why we live, because every part in everything moves. Actually, all the atoms, everything is moving around all the time. So it's freedom basically. Yeah.
Mobility for me is freedom. In fact, if I couldn't go out of my house, my home, I couldn't work, so I couldn't have my money and I couldn't have fun, so I would be very less free. So moving is being free.
Mobility for me is when you are free to go to different places, different cities, go to this place or cities is easy for you. For example, take a bus, take a metro, or walk about the city, and you haven't problems for this. This is mobility for me.
Okay. Mobility in general, for me, it's a way of moving people from a place to another one, just easily like that. but in a city like Rome, it can be a big problem because not only because Rome is very big, but because people is not used to move like with public transport or walking or by bike. But the only way of moving in Rome, every people think is by car.
Mobilità per me è tutto, perché io vengo da una famiglia, i miei genitori tutti e due erano insegnanti, però ho imparato più cose da mio padre, che mia madre era più calma, tranquilla, mio padre era più in movimento, insomma era un più ricercatore, lavorava nelle miniere, cioè insegnava, era un geologo. E mio padre mi diceva sempre, il tempo passa, tu non puoi dire che io sono sempre uguale.
Per me significa che due persone oggi, un dialogo nasce tra persone che si scambiano di cambiamento culturale tra tutti e due. E dipende del rapporto di cui si tratta.
Mobility for me is, I said, freedom for moving. Like I can go where I want and don't thinking about everything, anything.
My own case, just being able to do what you can, no matter your situation. Be able to move around in any particular mode as long as you're able to go from point A to point B, no matter in what condition and in what situation. That is mobility.
It's, I would say, the freedom to do whatever you like, of course, inside the law, but the freedom to move, to speak, to grow stuff. It's the freedom of people, basically, for me.
Mobility, I mean, I think even, maybe right now more than in the past, but of course it's very important for people to be ready to move to a different place, like to just, like leave behind what you think is safe and what you know, and take some time and to just go and explore and try new things, because now that we have the possibility to do it, it would be silly not to do it, because I don't know, since I started moving, I grew up a lot. I went through many different experiences, and my last trip was a solo trip through Africa, and it was amazing. I met many different people that really taught me a lot. And so mobility for me, it's more about, it's not actually something you do outside, like outside you, but it's something you do inside more. I mean, it's true, it's a trip. Usually mobility means not to go around and move in the space, but I think at the same time you move somewhere in the path you have inside you somehow, and you experience, you change, you also understand what you like and what you don't like, what you can do and what you can't do, which is also very important to know. And yeah, I think people that don't move don't really know themselves.
Mostly means freedom and independence, let's say, to be free to move wherever you want to go, to be adaptive and to be independent.
So for me, we have been discussing actually about mobility, and we have, I think, more or less the same idea. For me, mobility, it's a synonym of freedom, because it's not only the freedom to move from a country to another, but it's also the freedom of discovering and researching about oneself and about other countries, other cultures. So for me, it's really a really important way to give yourself the possibility to open your eyes and to meet other people and to discover a lot about reality, but also about yourself, because during experiences of this type, you can really get in contact with some new aspects of yourself as well. So I think it's just a freedom of expression as well. It's a very wide synonym of freedom for me.
Yeah, for me, more or less, is the same of her. But I think that the important things of mobility is the possibility to move around the world, everybody, to be free to choose which kind of place it's better for us. In this year, I worked with migrant people. Most of them came from Africa. And many of them, when they arrived to Italy, to Europe, they feel the racism problem, all the kind of problem. So I can understand how they can feel, but in the same time, I want that the mobility, like us, must be for them, because for Western people it's very easy to fly, to go in every place of the world. But if you think in the other side, like the African people or South American people, it's not easy to move around the world. So according to me, mobility it's freedom.
Dunque, la mobilità è una serie di cose, non è solo spostarsi all'interno di una città, ma è un diritto fondamentale a muoversi per necessità, per passione o per desiderio o perché costretti a farlo, però diventa, diciamo, un'esigenza, un diritto, un bisogno fondamentale all'interno della propria città, all'interno del proprio paese, da paese a paese. E quindi, diciamo, attraverso poi la bicicletta si riesce in modo ancora più facile a fare in modo, insomma, che la mobilità avvenga in qualche modo, ma è un concetto, come dire, largo, è un bisogno secondo me umano di muoversi e di spostarsi, e dovremmo avere tutti il diritto di poterlo fare tranquillamente.
Oh, many things. Mobility, physical mobility, to travel, to work out my house, but also to study, to search different ways of living for us, for disabled people, for me. Many things to enjoy, to many things.
I think if car is available, there is not so much problem, because if there is hot, we can find some places cold, like we can I can go cinema or some museum. The problem is the car is not so often available, and also I need someone who can come with me.
People usually expect me to say that it's my health what limits my mobility, what is partially true, but for me it's also the fears, not even about health but going out for my comfort zone, and these are the limits.
Well, being a disabled person on wheelchair means to find many obstacles. In my city, it's very difficult to go out if you are on a wheelchair. Many buses are not equipped for disabled people. Streets have many obstacles. It's very difficult to, I cannot say, okay, I go out and take a walk. No, I have to plan it, I have to choose the right place, I have to find someone that carries me and take me to this place. So it's not easy.
I think that my limit is the winter, because my problem is here, and when now it's hot, and for me it's better because I can move good. I need t-shirts, jackets, and putting my hands and my hair clothes, because the cold affect me. And for example, I move first. The limits for me is if you think that you have limits, you have limits. But if you think that you haven't, you haven't.
Adesso, come oggi, per me il limite è un po' perché io convivo con una ragazza di Roma e abbiamo una bambina. Diciamo ultimamente un po' più liberi, perché quando i bambini sono piccoli è un po' difficile. E invece i primi anni è stato un po' duro. Ho girato poco, sono uscito una volta, io che uscivo 3-4 volte dall'Italia, negli ultimi anni ho fatto un viaggio in Francia, siamo andati a fare uno spettacolo in Francia, ho mancato 5 giorni, poi basta, giro un po', vado in giro per l'Italia con questa associazione culturale, però c'ho sempre diciamo, un occhio di riguardo a casa, sempre al limite, torno perché non lo voglio lasciare da solo.
Allora, io mi chiamo Jamal, nato il 3 marzo del 1986, ho nato in Palestina, lungo di Gaza. Gaza, come voi sapete o come sappiamo tutti, che lì è una situazione un po' particolare rispetto ad altri paesi, che non c'è il senso della vita, che dove manca tutto, manca la libertà, manca il diritto, manca la giustizia, eccetera.
First, I'm underage. I'm 17 years old, and there is a rule in Latvia. I need the paper. There is my parents writing so I can go out of my country. But second is language.
My mobility in particular has been limited by the non-use of my legs. Because after the accident, I was totally mobile, but then I gained movement with my upper part. My legs are still sleeping, so they have limited my movement.
Laziness and that kind of limits my mobility, but I'm working on that.
I don't know, I could say like economically it could be a limit even for me, but I mean I usually never traveled expensively. I mean I really don't need much to go around, so I always try not to get limited by money issue. I save money to go. Let's say the limitation I have, it's more about the responsibilities that I have here. Now, yeah, I work all day, every day, so it would be a bit difficult for me to just decide and go.
Honestly, my mobility are limited by economical things, because coming from Bulgaria, and I have to think about how to realize my dreams and goals, and I didn't have enough money to travel with that.
As he said, there is a huge difference between the freedom of moving that we as Europeans, I think we all have, because we are really the generation born in the period of European Union, where there are almost no borders and we are free to move anywhere. In Africa, I felt the difference not only because I was asked by local people, so how did you arrive here? How did you have the possibility to come in our country legally? Because for them, of course, it's something which is really hard to imagine. So this is one point of view. So the easiness that we have to move anywhere, even outside the borders of Europe, and how hard can be for other people. And there, just from a very practical point of view, of course, means of transportations are really, really different. So okay, of course, the distance is much bigger than here, but also the public transports are not as modern as here. So of course, you have to consider even one-day trip to arrive from one city to another. So it changes a lot the conception that we have of mobility.
Quando viaggio la mia possibilità di muovermi e di spostarmi è limitata da muri, da intolleranze, da discriminazioni, da sessismo, da guerre. E tutto questo limita la possibilità di muovermi. All'interno della città i limiti sono una città che non è accogliente, sono le buche, sono il traffico, è una difficoltà proprio di pensare una città e una mobilità in un modo diverso.
I haven't limits. The city have limits. When I walk out with my wheelchair, if I found steps or hole on the ground or not elevator, there are limits. I don't have limits.